To the 1986 heavyweight bout between Mike Tyson and James Tylis in Glen Falls, New York. Let's now join our ringside announcers.
And now, here comes 19-year-old Mike Tyson as he emerges from his locker room and comes toward the ring. You will note one of the characteristics which sets Tyson apart. He wears no robe. He wears no socks with his boxing shoes. He says that makes him feel more like a warrior, more like a gladiator as he entered the ring. He'll be 20 years old on June 30, can eclipse Floyd Patterson as the youngest heavyweight champion of all time if he wins the title anytime before May 5, 1988. And there is already discussion behind the scenes in boxing of a possible match between Tyson and WBC heavyweight champ Trevor Berbick as early as December of this year. But first, he must get by this fight against James Quick Tylis. And we'll be back for round one right after this.
This ESPN Classic program is brought to you by Resurrecting the Champ.
At 7.
Kevin Rooney, Tyson developed into the most feared fighter in boxing. With more on Tyson's first year in boxing, here's a vintage Sports Center report in 1985.
Tyson has been called by some the next great heavyweight. Now, how many times have we heard that? But this guy actually thinks he might have a chance. Although he's only 19 years old, he is unbeaten in 10 fights and confident.
Whoever my manager picked for me to fight, they can't beat me, because if my manager thinks I could beat him, I think I could beat him too. And I don't care who they are. When they're in the ring, I'm sure I can beat them. Maybe if I look at them in the street and I get a little leery, but when they're in the ring, I'm sure that I'm going to be victorious.
Tyson may be boxing's version of the refrigerator. 5'11", 217 pounds, and quite a punch. No one has gone past the 4th round on him.
I don't know. I've been training for a long time. You know, I put a lot of time in this. And my manager and my trainers, you know, it's not easy. Everybody put in their share of the work, and the molding looks like it's coming out well.
Partially due to one of Tyson's managers, Cus D'Amato, the same guy who trained Floyd Patterson.
He knew me since I was a young boy, 13, and he raised me as this is the way I was brought up. No matter what happened, the show must go on. And you have to be a professional. I can't be a professional if I was to say I can't fight. I'm not a professional. I'm not a man enough. I'm man enough to go through any situation and take any downfall.
Seems to have a little bit more than a punch, doesn't he?
Steve Mark for ESPN.
1985 was a bittersweet year for Tyson, as it was marked by both the beginning of his professional career and the death of his mentor, Cus D'Amato. Coming up later, we'll examine how Tyson's skills eventually eroded. But right now, let's return to the 1986 fight between Mike Tyson and James Quick Tylis here on ESPN Classic.
Back in Glens Falls, New York, as you look at the tale of the tape between these two heavyweights, the significant stat there, both fighters entered the ring somewhat lighter than in their more recent appearances. Tyson, in his last fight against Steve Zowski, was over 220 pounds, today at 215. And Tylis, in his most recent bout with Terrell Biggs on January 25, fought at over 214 pounds. Today he is 207 3/4. The referee is Joe Cortez. There are 3 judges who will score the fight on the round system with supplemental point scoring in case of a draw. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. No standing 8 count. The mandatory 8 count is in effect. Tyson in the black trunks and James Quick Tylis in the white. Customarily, Mike Tyson does not feel his opponents out in round 1. He tries to take them out.
He tried to take Quick Tylis out with that first punch he threw, and Tylis showed why he may be a little bit different. He moved right out of the way of it, and Mike missed by quite a bit. The key to the fight will be Tyson cutting off the ring and pinning Tylis in corners and on the ropes like he did right there. Quick Tylis is 7 pounds lighter than when he fought Terrell Biggs. That would indicate, the look of him would indicate he's in much better condition. I think the postponement allowed him to get in better condition, will allow him to move more. The question is, how long can he move? His record is he's dangerous early, Jim. Can hurt you with either hand early in a fight, but has always faded and tired badly.
See Tylis delivering the left jab and following with the right. He is not running away from Tyson, and Tyson goes to work on the body. Some say that what sets Tyson apart is the intensity and the effect of his attack to the body.
It is amazing to see such a young fighter understand so well the importance of body punching. Generally, it takes a veteran to understand that by punching to the body, you can take all that movement away from James Tillis, and that's what Mike Tyson plans to do.
You saw Tyson with the left hook splitting Tillis's guard and getting the punch through moments ago as he had Tillis in the corner. Joe Cortez, the referee, the only one of the 3 judges in Las Vegas a few weeks ago who scored the Larry Holmes-Michael Spinks fight in favor of Holmes.
That was an excellent right uppercut by Quick Tillis, which is a punch that should be effective against someone who comes in burrowing in like Tyson does. For some reason, Tillis landed. He was so shocked he grabbed. Quick Tillis cannot, in my opinion, win a decision in this fight, Jim. He has to try to take Tyson out while he's fresh.
You see that Tillis grabs Tyson behind the head when he ties a fighter up. He customarily does it by tying them up behind the head. That will not deter Tyson from flailing away at the body, as he did right there.
And Joe Cortez, the referee, quite properly did not break the fighters because Tyson's hands were not tied up. Again, the right uppercut just missed that time by Tillis.
Late in round 1, a round in which Tillis has not acquitted himself too badly, as he has managed to stay away from Tyson's thunderbolts, although he just took a right hand. We'll be back.
ESPN Classic is opening up the boxing vault. Now with rarely seen fights, featuring some of the biggest names in boxing. Classic Night at the Fights, 8 p.m. weeknights, only on ESPN Classic.
Wednesdays this fall, America's wealthiest family will be on the loose.
This is Nate George, our family lawyer. You better do what he says, or else.
And only one man can keep them out of the headlines.
Nick, please, it's life and death. Be right there. Right there.
Donald Sutherland, Peter Krause, Billy Baldwin, and Jill Clayburgh. God help me. Dirty, sexy, money. Wednesdays this fall on ABC. Start here.
Hi, I'm Rachel from GoDaddy, the world's #1 in .com names. GoDaddy.com makes it fast, fun, and affordable to get on the internet with your very own .com name for just $1.99. A .com name is perfect for businesses, individuals, schools, teams, projects, practically anything. Let's see what makes GoDaddy #1.
I stay with GoDaddy because of the service. GoDaddy's tech support has been really invaluable to me.
GoDaddy.com provides great customer service to us.
GoDaddy service is nothing except first rate.
Act now, and your .com at GoDaddy is just $1.99. Plus, you get free hosting, free website, free quick blog, free email, and much more. GoDaddy's customer service representatives are here to help 24/7, 365. We make it easy for experts or beginners. Visit me at www.godaddy.com and get your .com name for just $1.99.
Just go to www.godaddy.com.
We bring you back for round 2, and you hear the bell. As you saw before we went away, Tyson did land one punch after the bell had sounded to end round 1.
Most people in boxing, if they're looking for a way to beat Mike Tyson, believe it will be done by a fighter who is able to move and punch effectively on the move, as Henry Tillman did in winning 2 fights from Tyson in the Olympic trials as amateurs. All right, bring out clean point.
Tyson just landed 2 solid left hands.
The difference, obviously, is here Mike Tyson has 10 rounds to wear down his opponent. He had to go all out in the 3 rounds amateur limit.
Lost to Tillman in the Olympic trials. Right hand lands flush on the cheek of Quick Tillis, but that was an extended right hand. He was not in close enough to do maximum damage.
Yeah, but he's not letting go of Mike Tyson. He might be shaking his hand, which generally means that he was hurt by the punch, even though it was, as you say, extended. Simply a matter here of Tyson finding the range. He can't be too far outside, but he can't cut so close that he allows Tylis to grab him, as Tylis will always do when Mike lets him.
Tyson can be hit. He was openly disappointed with the number of times that Steve Zowski landed on him in his last fight.
Any custom auto-trained fighter prides himself on his defense. And Mike really was disappointed that Zowski hit him with some right hands, really silly right hands that he should not have been hit with. It was just a loss of concentration.
The right hand by Tylis was blocked there.
A jab by Mike Tyson, a rare punch for him in his first 19 fights. A punch that he is smart enough to know that he's going to need if he's going to move up to world-class competition. He's been using it more in training and says we'll see a lot more of it in this fight. He just tried it there until Tylis knocked down two of them. Good head movement by Tyson coming in.
For the moment, Tyson is not nearly as busy as he has been in some of his previous fights against much lesser opponents. No doubt a sign of the respect that he must have for a fighter of Tylis's experience.
There's the punch that, in my opinion, is going to win the fight for Tyson. It's that right hand to the body. He won't knock Tylis out with it, but he will wear him down and bring his hands down so he can land punches to the head.
He got him with the left. And you saw Tylis staggering backward momentarily. Not seriously hurt, but Tyson has begun to break through the guard around the face. And there's a right hand as Tyson continues to land and round two ends.
Okay.
Back in Glens Falls, New York for the beginning of round three. More than 8,000 people here in the Glens Falls Civic Center. Almost all of them rooting for the fighter that Upper New York State thinks of as its own Mike Tyson.
Right now, all of the aggression is out of Mike Tyson. He is keeping his distance. He's trying to learn how to box with James Quick Tylis. It is not, or has not been to date, his fight. So if Quick Tylis has done nothing else, at the present time, he's taken Mike Tyson out of his game plan.
Tylis tying Tyson's left arm up there. Tylis's trainer and co-manager Bo Williford said that he had been working with him for the last 6 weeks, tying up Tyson's arms. But that time, Tyson got the left hand through again after ducking a Tylis punch.
Just one punch for Mike, and that's not typical. He has to put punches together when he gets inside. Keep busy. Outstrength Tylis on the inside and let his hands go.
He is being considerably more careful than in his previous 19 appearances.
Remember against Jesse Ferguson, that look at the hand speed by Tyson.
That's one of the things that's astonishing, to see a man of this size and this build with such quick hands. We'd like to alert our local stations along the line that we'll be taking a station break right here at the end of this round, round three.
was saying in the fight against Jesse Ferguson, Ferguson fought a negative fight, fought to survive for the most part. The punch that turned the fight around was a combination, actually, a right to the body and then doubling with it, coming right up the middle.
Let him go.
Looks to me like Tylis is open for an uppercut up the middle the same way.
Come on, get those arms out. Come on, work out of there.
This is an important learning experience for Mike Tyson. He's going to have to be able to handle a quick Tylis to get to the top of the even. He is right now. And Tylis is making the mistake of trying to trade with Mike Tyson. He should be moving off the ropes. Instead, he got into a little bit of macho there, and quick Tylis is not going to be around long fighting that way. Again, he scores with a right uppercut. Does quick Tylis.
Repeatedly, Tylis has scored with the right uppercut. But Tyson is beginning to wear down Tillis's defenses, particularly when he catches him against the ropes and then releases the hands. Round 3 coming to a close, and Mike Tyson warms to the task once again as the round comes to a close. Back with more after this word from our local station.
Let's go. Here it is, home of the $20 cover charge. $20. This is unbelievable. Don't mind us. See, this beer is about helping people live the high life. It's a good, honest beer at a tasty price. It's simple. You know, there's no cover charge for the high life. I got a shotgun. That's what you get for messing with the high life.
Paying for college? A lot harder than I imagined.
I have a scholarship, but I still need more. For books, lab fees.
It costs so much.
I am glad I found a Strive.
A Strive?
A Strive.
Loans for students like me.
My parents co-signed, so I got a better rate. $10,000.
$40,000.
I got my money in about a week.
A check in my name. In just about a week.
I chose to defer payments until after I graduate. Either way, I build my credit history.
I got the money I need now.
I bought a new laptop. I'm paying for room and board.
Well, you've done your homework, but you still need more money. There's a Strive Student Loans, up to $40,000 a year just by calling or going online now. You can apply in as few as 15 minutes, get your money in about a week, and you don't have to pay a cent until after you graduate.
Check it out. Definitely, I would tell people to check it out.
If you're like me,
you need an option. A Strive is a great option.
Call 1-800-294-5204 or go online to astriveeducationalloan.com.
It's Reality Week on Beat the Heat Summer. From the gridiron,
it starts here,
to the hardwood.
Oh, what a job! An unbelievable play.
It's a Beat the Heat Summer, all this week only on ESPN Classic.
Beginning of round 4, Jim Lampley with Alex Wallow in Glens Falls, New York. If you are scoring in rounds, as they do here in New York State, I had the first round even and have given rounds 2 and 3 to Mike Tyson. Right hand lands on the point of the chin, but he didn't get all of it. And a good left hook by James Tylis.
And again, inexplicably, quick Tylis grabs after he scores the best punch he scored in a couple of rounds. He should put punches together, punch in combination, and he might give Mike Tyson more trouble than he wants. He also can't lunge in with that left hook like that because he's going to get caught.
And having felt what Tylis has to offer in the way of the uppercut and that one left hook which scored, Tyson now appears to be a little less shy about stepping up inside. Tylis is landing punches.
He's landing hard punches, and interestingly, Mike Tyson is taking them. I mean, he doesn't want to get hit with them, but one of the questions about him, as it is with all developing fighters, is can he take a punch? Quick Tylis has had people like Carl Williams on the deck twice, Greg Page on the deck, Marvis Fraser hurt. He can punch when he's fresh like this. Switches left-handed. Tylis is a converted southpaw. Punches hardest with his left hook. Fought as an amateur. Fought as a southpaw as an amateur. Turned around in the middle of his amateur career.
Both of those left hooks miss slightly for Tyson. Look how low he gets to duck under those punches. Extraordinary.
Tylis could have butted him with his knee there. Right now, Mike Tyson is having problems solving James Quick Tylis. He doesn't really know, the things that work for him normally are not working for him, and he's going to have to go to things that are a little bit more sophisticated. He's going to have to cut the ring off better, and he's going to have to find the range better. He just can't walk inside and let Tylis tie him up like that. Has to let his hands be busier, and at the same time avoid getting hit himself.
As for Tillis's chin, you might note that a long time ago in 1981, he went 15 rounds with the very dangerous puncher Mike Weaver, largely by staying away. But on the other hand, he suffered a technical knockout in the first round against Tim Witherspoon 2.5 years ago.
You'd have to say that is a fluke, the loss to Witherspoon. Tillis claims he slipped on some water in the corner and was distracted before he got punched. Again, he lunges in and gets caught.
The left hand drops Tillis onto the seat of his pants as round 4 is coming to a close.
I'm not so sure that his right foot wasn't stepped on, causing that knockdown. There was definitely a punch, but I believe that Tillis's right foot was stepped on by Tyson the moment the blow landed.
All right, let's stay right here and take one more look at the knockdown.
I'm clearly wrong. That was just a clean punch. He was off balance. We said that Tillis could not lunge in with the left hook. He lunges in with the left hook. Tyson very cleverly slips it, comes back in a punching position and lands a left hook. That was not the full power of Mike Tyson, but Tillis had lunged, was off balance, and he was able to drop it. Let me repeat that there was no tripping involved. It was a clean punch.
There is the Tyson corner. You see Kevin Rooney in the year of Tyson, another custom auto-trained fighter. The longest Tyson bout was the fight against Jesse Ferguson. A TKO at 1 minute 19 seconds of the 6th round. Now round 5 begins here in Glens Falls. Tillis still willing to trade leather with Tyson.
I don't think that was a punch. The knockdown punch was a punch that hurt Quick Tillis. It definitely got his attention, but he wasn't debilitated by it. It's not that was not looking. Did not look to me to be the beginning of the end.
He might have learned not to lunge so badly with the left hand, though. And there you see Tyson whacking away to the rib cage with the right hand.
Again, Cortez warns Tillis for holding behind the head. Tillis switches briefly to southpaw and goes back. And again, he holds behind the head. Mike Tyson is not doing his job in those clinches. His hands are free, but he isn't using them. Right there, there's no reason for Mike not to rip punches to the body. We talked about his ability as a body puncher. He has it. He just isn't using it.
All right, bring up. Let's go, step back.
Tillis turns away for a moment to spit, but so far he does not look hurt, as Alex pointed out. Looks rather fresh. Has had a tendency in the past to tire. This is not a good round so far for Tyson, who is missing more punches than he lands. And again, not busy in the clinch. That's frankly astonishing because the opportunity is there for him to do a lot of damage.
There, he gave a half-hearted effort at that combination we talked about, the right to the body and the right uppercut, but he didn't land it. He did land punches at the end of the flurry. And that's what he has to do with Tillis. He has to keep punching. He's just letting isolated punches go. Like a single left hook, nothing behind it. He has to punch in combination to be effective.
There's a great tendency here to compare Tyson to another young heavyweight, Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist Terrell Biggs. Tillis extended Biggs to the full 8 rounds where Biggs got the decision, and that was on January 25.
Two good short chopping right hands by Tillis. Tyson waiting for Tillis to open up, and those two body punches did get Tillis' attention, and he grabs. Just the grimace on his face alone, I think, indicates that Quick Tillis was hurt by those two body punches.
And the right hand got through the guard onto the cheek of Tillis, who looks a little the worse for wear now in the last minute of round 5. So after a slow first minute and a half in this round, Mike Tyson has reapplied the pressure. And if he's shown you one thing today, it is that he knows how to close out a round and leave an impression in the minds of the judges. We'll be back right after this.
Being careful, it's very important to me because I have genital herpes.
And I don't.
Being careful? It's why I take Valtrex once a day. I thought it was okay between outbreaks. Then I learned something.
One study found that up to 70% of people who had genital herpes got it from their partner when they had no signs of an outbreak.
So you can still pass it on at any time.
Being careful
means knowing I'm doing all I can to reduce my risk of passing it on to her. That's why I take Valtrex once a day.
Valtrex is the only medication proven to reduce the risk of spreading genital herpes.
Always use safer sex practices with daily therapy, which also includes avoiding sexual contact when you get or think you're getting an outbreak. There's no cure for herpes. Even with treatment, it's possible to spread herpes. Valtrex is for adults with healthy immune systems. To avoid a potentially serious complication, tell your doctor if your immune system isn't normal because of bone marrow or kidney transplant or advanced HIV disease.
Being careful, it feels good.
Ask your doctor about once daily Valtrex and save up to $10 on each prescription at Valtrex.com.
A lot can happen in 2 years, especially if you take advantage of the United States Army's 2-year-plus training service option. 2 years to become stronger than you ever imagined you could be. 2 years to discover what you're really made of and how far you can go. You can have it all. Adventure, the chance to give something back to your country, the kind of training that truly prepares you for the future, and incentives up to $50,000. Call 1-800-628-ARMY now to find your nearest recruiter. Find out how you can become Army Strong.
ESPN Classic is opening up the boxing vault. Now with rarely seen fights, featuring some of the biggest names in boxing. Classic Night at the Fights, 8 p.m. weeknights, only on ESPN Classic.
Many believe that Tyson's downfall began after his devastating victory over Michael Spinks in June of 1988. After that win, Team Tyson was completely overhauled. Don King became Tyson's promoter, and manager Bill Caton and trainer Kevin Rooney were both out. Even though he continued to march through the heavyweight division, Tyson's personal life began to spiral out of control, and eventually he would lose his heavyweight championship to Buster Douglas in February of 1990. Al Bernstein analyzes the deterioration of Tyson the fighter as he prepared for his 1995 comeback in this Vintage Outside the Lines report.
When Mike Tyson was at his peak, these were the building blocks of his success. Good head movement, repeated use of the jab, and rapid combinations. This gym in Catskill, New York is where Mike Tyson learned his boxing skills. It's where Customato taught him a very specific kind of boxing style that would take him to the World Heavyweight Championship. But many believe that well before Mike went to prison, that style was crumbling.
I didn't see the jab in the Bruno fight. I don't care if he only threw 10 jabs when he was at his best, maybe 15 around. They were effective jabs. That was very badly missed when it was gone. He was looking now to land one punch.
2 fights later came Tyson's only pro loss to Buster Douglas. Again, specific punches were absent, this time along with any evidence of focus and preparation.
He didn't throw any punches because he figured, all right, well, I'll maybe look at this guy in a bad way and he'll fall down. And when that didn't happen, and the other guy, Douglas, was in pretty good shape, and he was very nervous, but he let a scared fighter get brave is what he did. And so Douglas said, all right, well, you don't want to throw, I'm going to start throwing. So he started throwing and started connecting.
Since 1988, when Don King took control of Team Tyson, there's been no trainer who has had the impact or autonomy of D'Amato or Rooney. For the most part, Tyson marches to the beat of his own drummer.
If you don't have someone you can trust in, sometimes you're lost. The advantage of having a trainer is that he can see things that you can't see. And then you go to the corner, he can explain certain things to you. And therefore, you can go out there and look for various different things, and that makes you a better fighter.
In his first bout after his release from prison, Tyson scored a first-round knockout over Peter McNeely. Coming up, Al Bernstein will be back with his thoughts on James "Quick" Tylis in his continuing series, Bernstein on Boxing. But now let's get back to 1986, Tyson versus Tylis, right here on ESPN Classic.
Holy Ghost, man, come on, man. Tip, just tip. Don't try to change, just tip. Then when you feel it, okay?
Joe, uppercut you did. He's good that time. You hurt him in that uppercut.
We are back for round